Matt Bowes with AgriGrowth Consulting. Today we're going to work through how to define our core values. Core values are a proven business strategy, and I hope you come away with confidence and clarity in growing both yourself and your business. Today with me I have Amos. Amos is gracious to lend me his time to work through an example on how we utilize these. So yeah, Amos, mind give us an introduction?
Sure. Yeah, Amos Bilo. I'm the community coordinator at Startup Sioux Falls, which is where I met you, Matt.
Yep.
And I really appreciate what you're doing here. I have a background in coaching, both fitness coaching. I was a manager at a gym. Also did my own personal development coaching, leadership coaching for Christian men. And so core values and principles are very important to me. I love what you're doing. Happy to be here today. And I got to be on my best. I got to be living my values to be the best for my family. I got a young family, so.
Cool. Yeah, I've gone through this process, started with, I went through with a business coach and she helped me lay out what my core values were 4 or 5 years ago. And then I've spent, probably done a half dozen times since then with different individuals. So it's always a fun process to go through. Core values, kind of how I utilize them in my life. Once I've defined them, I really use them as like decision making for big decisions in my life. So those kind of decisions like going on big family vacations or a business partnership that presents itself to me, or even a job opportunity that presents itself. I look at my core values, which are family, nature, and adventure. And when those big opportunities come up in my life, at least, if those opportunities are not going to be additive to my core values, or they're not going to be things that encompass those things, I'm going to pass on those, and I'm going to look for those things that, again, I'm going to have family, nature, and adventure in mind. Like, how do you utilize them in your day to day? How do you utilize your core, defining your core values?
Yeah. Day to day, I would say mine's a little bit more in the moment, where if I'm being reflective on my day or on my month,
Yeah.
If something's off, my core values is what I come back to.
Yep.
If I feel foggy, if I'm not living in my strengths, if I'm not showing up well for my kids, for my family, I know something's off. And so let's look at my core values first. Let's see how I'm lining up my day and what's included.
Right.
But I like what you said, and I have used it that way, but less so. So I'm curious to start doing that more, where it's very proactive. This job that I have now is really the manifestation of my number one core value, at least what I've put together in my back pocket. And so I've done some of that, but maybe I haven't thought about it the way you have. So
yeah, no, that's perfect insight into how to utilize them. And I'm glad that, I think any of us can do. We're gonna take these tools and we're gonna use them different in our lives. So we're gonna go through just a process of kind of a framework on if a person wanted to has never done their core values, like how they're going to do them. Basically a 3-step process is really, it's quite a simple process. First thing is you can do this as simply as, this is actually my sheet. This one I printed off. It says list of personal core values. I'm sure you could Google that and you're going to find this same list some out there. I printed this one out, as you can see, circled 6 of them. I force ranked them from 1 to 6 at the time when I did it. But really, when I boil this list down, there's 3 core values that define me. Again, family, number 2 is nature, and number 3 is adventure. And I think too, you kind of nail it too, where you talked about like when life often gets dull, or I feel like non-motivated or non-dull, a lot of times it's because I'm missing one of those core values in my day or my life, and usually I can put that and reinsert those things in there and get that kind of dull feeling back out. So second thing is, method here is I've got this fancy deck of cards that has all these core values on it. I've worked with a few people on using this deck of cards. Again, it's pretty much the same list as what you would find on a core values list, but it kind of simplifies it a little bit in that you can go through it, discard the ones that aren't relevant to your life, and then sort through those. So yeah, I'm gonna have Amos kind of go through here quickly. this deck of cards, and we're gonna see what he sorts out. So think about the things when you're looking at your core values. Think about your must-haves in life, a value that you acted on or thought about in the last 24 hours. I always had the coaching too of think about where you spend your time, energy, and your money. Like those three things are generally where your core values lie. So, and so we're going to have some must-haves. And when we get this list done, we're probably going to have some things that are meaningful to Amos's life, but he could probably function without them. So, yeah, this is usually it's a pretty quick process. Yeah. Ambition is not one of his core values. I just saw him flip past that one. So this is not.
I'm not honest at all.
Not honest at all either. Yeah, again, that's a good reminder that this list is your personal list, not what you aspire to be, not what society says that you should be. These are the things that were probably rooted deep in us when we were infants, when we were adolescents, grown-ups. They probably haven't changed much along the way. So, yeah, it looks like he's done here.
Got
About 10 of them. You've got
a little bit more. Yep.
10 or 11, and that's probably, so you've got things in your life that are either they're must-haves and are meaningful. So let's start sorting out things that are must-haves. Let's things that if you did not have those in your life, things would be bad. You could not function. And generally, I think most people can boil this down to 3 to 5 core values if they really think about it and pin it down. Out, Amos is having, he might need 12 core values.
That's been an issue in the past. Where
Yeah.
More is better.
Yeah.
More. But I've gotten a lot better at that, especially having 2 kids. And
Yeah.
Less is more.
Yeah.
Where I'd spend my time.
So those are the 3 on top? Is that what you forced, or those 3 on the side?
Yeah. I
You got 3.
might get 5, but.
Okay. So right now he's got wisdom, a variable life,
Yes.
and then meaning in life. So those 3 things are he's choosing those right now and then looking at a couple more. So curiosity. Okay.
Okay. I have to cut some of this. Might be that. Maybe creativity. Well, I suppose if they're maybes, they're not must-haves.
Yeah. So there's your 4.
Yes.
We're going to go with those. Okay. So yeah, you mind lifting these up here. So Amos has got, I'll just show him. Meaning in life, curiosity, a variable life, and wisdom are his 4 core values. So yeah, I think it's a great process. Like, what did you think about the way to lay this out and think about this? Did you like the way this works? Or had you done anything like this before?
I did a very similar thing with Strengths Finders.
Okay.
Because they gave you situations or phrases that
Yeah.
you had to associate yourself with. You had to narrow down in a big stack to
Yep.
5 and apply them to your strengths. So what I enjoy about this is that it's 1 word or 3 words or maybe 5 words tops. So
Yep.
it's easy, it's quick, like you said, instead of being so self-reflective as a man, like going for a walk by the lake. It can work for some people,
Right.
But it might take a long time.
Right.
Whereas you have all the prompts in front of you. So that's really nice. Being able to determine must-have versus meaningful
Yeah.
and narrowing it down to must-have as well. In America, in our culture, we have so many options.
Right.
We're just inundated with anything and everything at our fingertips. So doing this and narrowing it down even further
Yeah.
simplifies, and simplicity creates clarity. Simplicity scales a business.
Right.
So for all those reasons, I like having 4. I like having 5 words.
Yep.
And then how you described this to me the other day as we were talking about this was that you can't live without these things. That changes it from these are things that I need to take action on
Right.
in order to have purpose to when I do have these things in my life, I will feel purposeful
Right.
versus an action versus just like this is inherently
Yeah.
what I need and who I am. So
Right. Perfect. Well, yeah, thanks, Amos, for taking the time to go through this process with me. If you want to go through this process yourself, you want to do it yourself, or you want some input along those lines, go to mattbose.com and book a free 30-minute call with me, and we can walk through either results or even how you do this. Say it's a quick conversation. And so, yeah, I hope you find these proven strategies helpful and come away with more confidence and clarity in growing both yourself and your business.